Hi, this is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today, I thought we'd do another deep dive into the dark corners of comic book history. We have Rick Veitch's The One. This came out in 1984, I think. $1 and that $1.50, excuse me. And this was more expensive because this was a direct market comic by Marvel. That means it went only to the comic book stores. This didn't go to the spinner racks and retail and stuff like that. You can see there's no Comics Code Authority on it. So as such, they could get away with a lot more than the average comic book. This was Rick Veitch goofing on Cold War era politics, American consumerism, communism, very political, superheroes, and commercialism. You could see every box looked like every cover looked like a product that you'd get in a supermarket. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This was the epic line of comics. So Marvel had the regular superheroes that you're familiar with: Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Daredevil. I always get Batman and Daredevil in my brain mixed up. But this was outside of that. This was Epic Comics, and it was his own little thing. And these were creator-owned. So Rick Veitch owns this, not Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics just published it, of course, for a profit. And Rick Veitch could do what he wants with it. And he has since republished it as a trade paperback under his own company, the name escapes me. So you could get a trade paperback of this. And this is the article that inspired this whole series. Marshall McLuhan says that the A-bomb may be good, about how the A-bomb unites us all, that the fear of nuclear annihilation creates like a national identity and a national problems, things like that. Makes it so. There you go. That's what he, of course, is goofing on this. So these are the characters. So it's written as if it's written after the fact that people are telling their stories to like a documentarian. These are the main characters, and for the life of me, I can't remember any of the characters' names. I haven't read this since the latest would be '92 when I put all my comic books into storage. 1985. I said 1985, right? Okay, Epic Comics. So this is a subset of Marvel Comics. It predated Vertigo, if I even remember correctly. And Vertigo was a DC super influential line of comics. I got to pan all the way out for this. So here you can see that the Cold War is already turning into a hot war. This is the American president on TV. This is the Russian premier on TV. Oh, I skipped the credits. Writer, artist, creator, Rick Veitch. So Rick Veitch he's even doing the lettering. So he does, oh wow, even doing the colors. So this is Rick Veitch's baby. Rick Veitch, I already talked about him in a Swamp Thing video. He took over Swamp Thing right after Alan Moore. I mean, that was some huge shoes to fill. And while it was not completely different, but it was different, but he pulled it off. He did a good job. So you have the Russian premier, and I remember this. He has this voice box that he needs to speak, and then a Ronald Reagan-inspired president chomping on cigars. They're arguing over this hot war that's going on, and he's just goofing and laughing, and that, just bags under the eyes, sleeping in filth. Here he is cursing through his voice box. The president's yelling. Things are getting tense, and here's another character that survives the story, telling the fan it's hot down here. I'm getting AC next week, so this won't be happening once I get the AC. And this is her child. He doesn't really know what's going on. He just knows he's scared. And you see she's younger here. So these are the other characters of the story. Watching the TV, crying the end of the world's going to come. And the kid's just hungry. They're going to drop bombs on us. He's hungry. So she freaks out, yells at the kid, and that spazzes him out, and everybody starts to freak out. What's going on? What's going on? They look out the window, and there you go. Is it the bomb? Because so he's looking back. So obviously it wasn't an atomic bomb, or he wouldn't be here. He's telling the story about how scared he was and what's going on. But here, these radiations all over Manhattan. Yes, this was pre 9/11, so you got the Twin Towers. What was that? What was that? And everybody's falling asleep. So this is the big sleep. For whatever reason, these two didn't fall asleep. Look at this. So I don't know about you, but I like his artwork, especially this is him inking and coloring himself. So this is all pure Rick Veitch. But others have inked Rick Veitch and just made it so good. For those of you who are interested in him, he also did a 4-issue series for DC using the Question. That oh boy, was that, to me, that was my favorite iteration of the Question. Even though it's a Steve Ditko creation, the Rick Veitch conspiracy theory, the villains were tailor made for, that was so good. Just the 4-issue Rick Veitch Question was so good. So these two are going to go take advantage of everybody sleeping. So he runs out. She's concerned with her son. You know, she feels guilty because for all she knows is they're never going to wake up. They're going to die. And her last words were yelling at the boy. He's like, "Come on, let's get out of here." So here's the Russian premiere, raging full on. Damn fan. Maybe I should turn it off. You know, getting mad, arguing and yelling. So they're going up to the observation deck of one of the Twin Towers. He wants to see what's going on. And he sees a Russian thing. So this is it. I'm going to shoot it out of the sky. You know, I'm going to be a hero. So he takes his rifle, and we have that same effect again. And this was one of the guys on the couch. Obviously, they live, and he's telling his story. And he sees a man in the center of this disturbance, riding. For those of you who've seen Dr. Strangelove, the man riding the missile. Oh, so this isn't even a plane. This is a missile. It shows you how long it's been since I read it. And hits the Twin Towers. How ominous is that? Okay. So the debris he saved, and this guy shows up, coalesces, and mommy, that's her boy in this form. Why aren't you? Oh, no. This is the one. He's like the collective unconsciousness of everybody that's asleep. So since the little boy Tommy is in there, or Larry, or whatever his name is, he thought, why aren't you in here with us? Why aren't you part of the one? And she faints because, you know, that's what women do. They faint. So he's explaining how freaky it was, smoking up. He's carrying her down the stairs, and he meets this freaky guy. He looks like Kramer, right? Kramer before Kramer. He's like, "What are you?" He's like, "I'm just an average person." So this is the secret identity of the one. And I don't even think he has a name, but that's him in his human form. He's explaining, they're only sleeping. Listen, I've seen it. Taking the pulse, you couldn't find them. These bastards are dead. It's a special kind of sleep. It's more like a trance. Their heart rates are virtually nil. Your friend here hasn't fainted. She's gone under with the rest. So she wanted to go to sleep to be reunited with her son. So he's pulling out a knife. What are you talking about? There's nothing to worry about. They'll be coming soon before you know it. Back to normal? Oh, listen, man, I've got a few things to take care of. Could be a big chance, you know what I mean? See you later, creep. So, of course, this guy is going to take advantage of the fact that he thought everybody was dead. Now he realizes time is short, so he's going to go do Robin stuff. And here's the president giving his side of the story. And we cut to a tank. The military's on high alert, and they're just waiting for orders. I guess I imagine in a situation like this, the military would be on a hair trigger, right? So now they just listen in with their equipment. There's a car, so they turn on their night vision. It's, well, like a car. Can't you get any closer? They're spying on the car because they're bored. And inside is a young man and a young woman. And he's like, "Oh, it feels so good. You shouldn't do that. Oh, no. You know, what's going on?" So they're just like, "Wow, this is getting good." He goes, "Don't you ever touch me. I'm sorry. He goes, "For God's sakes, I'm your sister." And they're like, "What?" So they're like giggling. And he's like, and then this guy, "What? You sure? They look like kids." "What?" He's like, "They got orders to shoot upon that car." And he's just like, "All right, yeah, there may be perverts or whatever, but we're not going to blow them up." And he said, "We have our orders." So boom, he shoots the car. The car gets wrecked. And he's like, target status. She's getting up. He's getting up. What? Blam. So here they are. And this guy's telling a story again. The Russian premier's giving a press conference, talking about everything. He's raging full on. And the our intelligence telling us that the Americans have activated their superhumans. He goes, we have superhumans too. He goes, about a German nutritionist and that little mouse that he experimented on. Tell me the story of Uber Mouse. And it just gets wackier and crazier and crazier. Oh, this Puzzfundles was a nightmare. This was a little comic strip that he put in the back of every issue, and it is just nightmare gas. Look at this. I think I blocked this out of my memory. This was just, just fuels for horrific dreams. Moonshadow. J.M. DeMatteis, he was, and Jay Muth was a wonderful artist. J.M. DeMatteis, I love J.M. DeMatteis' art. He has a graphic novel called Greenberg the Vampire, about a Jewish vampire. Just a good story. This was good. This was another epic comic, Dreadstar. Jim Starlin, the creator of Thanos, and he did a great run on Captain Marvel, and a lot of Marvel's cosmic stories. And oh wow, I didn't even look at the back. ElfQuest. This brings back memories, by Wendy and Richard Pini. They this is like a Lord of the Rings inspired group of elves, but they're like wild. They're the elves in this world. They're like barbarians. They're wolf riders, and they're like nomadic. They live in the forest, and then the humans burn them down and hunt them. Their forest gets burnt down, so that they cross the desert to find a new place to live, and they meet up with other group of elves. Just a charming story. The artwork is they look like childlike, but even though they're different species, so they look like child, but then they meet like 1,000-year-old elves who are tall, like Tolkien elves. So just a good story. Every elf is telepathic. Just good. Wendy Pini is still alive. I think Richard passed. And Wendy Pini used to model for Frank Thorne. She used to. If you ever see a redheaded woman dressed as Red Sonja, odds are that you're looking at an old 70s picture of Wendy Pini. And Frank Thorne created Red Sonja, and she used to model for him. And then she would go to comic conventions, and then she started ElfQuest. So this is the one. Like I said, Rick Veitch created this. This is his political tale of communism versus capitalism versus consumerism and superheroes, and it zigs and zags all over the place. There's so many directions that it goes. I don't want to spoil it for you. It's a 6-issue series. You could get the trade paperback. It's I'm sure the politics is a little dated at this point, but I thought it was a fun read. A lot of imaginations. Rick Veitch, you may disagree with his politics, but you can't say the guy's not imaginative and creative. I loved it. I read it over and over again as a kid, and I don't want to spoil it because it really is like a mystery of how it unfolds. It's really, really cool. So there you go. The One by Rick Veitch, published by Epic Comics, which was a subset of Marvel Comics in 1985. All right, bye-bye.